Good morning, everybody. It's Mike with smartoptiontrading.com. Sunday, the 26th of October. This is my week ahead video. I'm not doing charts today. Why? I started looking at charts and I was looking at everything going on this week, and I'm like, it doesn't really matter. And I'm going to go into that in detail with you guys here, but I am going to show you some things here. So we go into this week, we have just so much going on. Futures already up. Bessent met with his counterpart in China, and they've agreed to no 100% tariff, no rare earth restrictions don't start for a year, and China is going to start buying produce and soybeans. Okay. Now this has to go survive Trump and Xi meeting in a couple of days as well, but the futures are already up, and we know futures are up because we can track pre-market futures here, and you can see pre-market futures, the Dow is already up 177 points or 0.38%. All right. So what else is going on? Monday morning, on Tuesday, we kick off at 12 o'clock or 12:30 with the keynote address from NVIDIA and Jensen at this at the GTC or whatever it is he has going on there. We expect to hear a lot about AI, maybe some new products, and also maybe some update on financials and what's going on. We have economic data or not this week. You see a lot of economic data scheduled. You see all those question marks? Will we get them? I don't know. By the way, friends at Trade Exchange do a great job putting this together. Monday, we may or may not get durable goods. We'll probably get Dallas manufacturing Fed survey. Tuesday, Red Book sales will get consumer confidence, no idea. Housing information, no idea. Retail sales, probably not on Wednesday. Thursday morning GDP, that's a big no. PCE, that's a big no. Chicago PMI, another we might get. But the big focus will then be on 2 o'clock on Wednesday on the Fed. Fed makes their decision on Wednesday and is followed by the presser at 2:30. Market's pricing at a 0.25 rate cut. The surprise would be more. Mirren, who is still a cabinet member and is also now on the Fed, is pushing for a half point or more rate cut. Unlikely to get it. This is Powell's second to last meeting as Fed chair, as Trump will replace him as at the end of his December meeting. I expect a 0.25, but the presser and the language moving forward be easier. After Friday's CPI report, it should be easier for the Fed to give a 0.25 cut here. All right, so we have all that going on. And then the real thing that kicks in is this, it's earnings. This week is one of those weeks, guys, where there's just earnings all over the place. So many names report across so many sectors. What do you do charts for? It's going to see what they have. My plan here, moving forward for the rest of this year, I'm bullish, remain that way, is at this point is to focus on the names with the best earnings and guidance and focus there. So if we look at what's going on Monday night, you have NXPI after the close. Tuesday morning, for me, SoFi, PayPal, and UPS are the ones I'm most interested in. You also have United Healthcare. Tuesday night, Visa, Enphase, STX. You also have EA in there, BE is in there. You can see a lot of different names, right? Tons of names. Wednesday morning, Caterpillar, Boeing, Verizon, CVS, ADP is in there, Etsy's in there. Missed that one, right? You look, Heinz. Wednesday night, it's going to be wild. You have Microsoft, Meta, Google, um, which is on there twice for some reason, Starbucks, Chipotle, ServiceNow, Carvana, eBay, right? You can just see some of these names on there. In the morning on Thursday, Eli Lilly, MasterCard, Roblex, Merck is in there. And then Thursday night, Amazon, Apple, Coin, MSTR, Reddit, Roku, FSLR. You got Twilio in there, Team, Riot, all right, Western Digital. Friday morning, even then, Chevron and ExxonMobil. So just a tremendous amount of earnings coming at us this week. All right, so let's take a step back and let's talk about market sentiment as we go into this week here. We're going in and you can see what's going on here. And we'll look at the highs versus lows on the NASDAQ. Plus 262. This is a big pop on Friday. Look at this move up versus negative 5064. These are very good numbers. When you have market sentiment like this, the market rarely just rolls over. You look at what's going on with the S&P 500. It's the same thing. Plus 100 versus negative 10. These are very, very good numbers. Market breadth, market put to call is in the neutral zone. We're not overheated. Market breadth turned up nicely now on the NASDAQ, where we're leading up and just at the all-time high here on the S&P 500. Your advanced decline lines all moving up. Look at the nice move in small caps here. And the oscillators, plus 73 and plus 93. We're on the positive side of neutral on the NASDAQ as well as the New York Stock Exchange. So let's jump into it. On the ES, Again, we talked about last week this candle, how powerful the candle was on the S. And the SPY didn't look good, but we reversed. We could have broken down. We should have broken down last week, reversed, shot back up. And here you are breaking out. You have a new all-time high in the SPY breaking out on a pretty much a day one move. And you're breaking out of a basically a sideways pattern since the beginning of, mid-September. So you have a 2 month breakout in progress here. This could lead us to much higher prices. So we'll see. As long as earnings deliver and nothing goes weird here, I suspect this market will continue to push up. On the NQ, very similar. Crude up off the lows with us buying back and the new sanctions on Russia, but that too will pass. Bonds overall not doing much but holding. Gold all-time highs, pulling back, consolidating. Bitcoin remains out of play at the moment, keeping an eye on that. The VIX smashed back down, gave that whole pop up back. By the way, this candle right here, that reversal was the key. That was game was, it was risk back on. HYG moving up nicely finally. The transports remain out of play, and the dollar overall remains weak and sideways. So when we watch the SPY this week again, as we said in the ES, breaking out of a 2 month channel here, looking to go higher. Now, the big thing's going to be is you push up and become to the top of this ascending channel. This has been a problem for it. This goes all the way back to towards April, right? Every time we come up into there, we're going to have to break it. That is currently trading there up around the 683 area and it's still moving up, right? So we'll see what we're going to get there. So let's talk sectors. We could talk the banks. Banks have all reported we're not getting much more out of that. XLF pushing up, retakes the 50-day. Nice little move there. Watch the big banks, see how they trade. JP Morgan got stopped at the 50-day above that. I like it. Goldman breaking out above it is stronger. Morgan Stanley almost back at the all-time high is stronger. Bank of America at the highs there, stronger. Citigroup and Wells Fargo are lagging a little bit. KRE, the regional banks still seeing some there, but that should hopefully start catching a bid. Right, but names like SoFi reporting, not much to do there. It's trading at just shy of the all-time high. We'll see how that trades out. Energy, energy popped a little bit, couldn't hold it. Honestly, I don't really like this sector at this point. Chevron coming back in, ExxonMobil coming back in. We'll see what they both report this week. You are seeing some strength in Valero, which had a nice move just shy of the all-time high. And, these names like BE, which have run like mad here, be very careful. As long as we're talking about, let's talk the nuclear sector. You had a nice 2-day bounce on this. Again, these things have run to the moon. OKLO is probably should only be, if on valuation, this stock should probably only be around $10, $15. They ran this thing to 193. It will not have revenue of any kind until 2028 at best. So, be careful. These are not names you want to own at this point. If you want to pull them on a deep pullback, same thing with NNE. We talk about aerospace. Rocket Lab has been very strong near the all-time highs. ONDS pulling back here, rejected at the 21-day. ACHR, selected, couldn't break the 8-day, but holding in. BKSY, okay, holding okay. You see these names all kind of moving around a little bit, showing a little bit of tired here, but overall they're holding in okay. We talk about food. We're going to see, McDonald's coming up, right? In 2 weeks, not doing much. Looking forward to seeing what Starbucks has to say, along with CMG. I think this is a huge quarter for both of them. They both have had new CEOs, and they both have had them for a couple quarters now. They need to start showing that their plans are working. We'll keep an eye on that. Kava also, been beaten up here of late. We'll see if that one has any strength to it. We come back closer to home with Boeing and Cat reporting. You got Big Cow Components and Lilly. There's not much there. J&J and Pharma reported they had a good report. You got Merck this week, BMY coming up, as well. You have to see what these names report. Again, it's just so many names reporting. Coin and crypto reports this week. Nice candle on that upgrade on Friday. Watch that 360 level. Hood, which looked like it wanted to break down, finally bounced right back up and is holding it just fine. This market is strong. They keep coming back for these names. So we'll see what we're going to get. China names, watch them for a big gap up on the FXI on tomorrow with this news. We'll see what they do. BABA, FXI. The semis themselves look strong. New all-time highs on Friday. NVIDIA, I'm long NVIDIA overnight. I've been trading this, been sitting in this. We'll see if we can get a move up here. And, here's your all-time high of 195.62. AMD doesn't report until next week. Here's a new all-time high and a breakout at 353.39. These look good. Intel gave that whole pop back. It's still Intel, right? Intel is still what they are. They can talk about it. Things improving there. They seem like it. They have a lot of support moving forward here, but they're still a tar company. Watch this thing on a pullback. I don't particularly like it up this far. Micron, new all-time highs. Taiwan Semi just kind of chilling out here since earnings. This is not unusual for it. Overall, most of these names are holding it just fine. We switch our over to tech. Palantir doesn't report for a couple weeks yet. You have a big 2-month, 3-month long consolidation pattern setting up here just off the all-time highs. That 50-day has been incredible support. It's trying to break this 185 area, which has been an incredible amount of resistance. We'll see how that trades out. Tesla reported last week. They sold the report, then they bought it back, then they sold us off again on Friday. Listen, I've said this a bunch. This report is irrelevant to Tesla. It's about the future. It's about robotics. It's about the taxi. It's about first full self-driving, right? It's about their AI stuff. So people are going to sit there. It's no longer about, the EV sales. EV sales just have to support and provide the revenue and the income for them to push those things forward. So I would suspect Tesla remains stuck, but if the market goes up, Tesla will probably go with it, right? So honest answer on that one. And then we'll talk, all these names. Netflix, we should talk. I didn't like that report. They didn't want to talk about things that they should have talked in that report. This stock really should split. I don't know why. They used to split habitually at 700. They refused to. And price action supporting how I felt about that report that morning. I came out and said I didn't like it. I don't like they're blaming their EPS miss on tariffs on Brazil that they didn't want on taxes on Brazil that they didn't want to talk tariffs, that they didn't want to talk about the cancel Netflix culture from Musk, and that they deserve to be beaten up. So here they are down to the 1100 area, a little bit under it. So we'll see. This one can go lower. It's out of play for me, off my radar for now. Right, and then we look around and say, well, what else you want to trade this week? These are a lot of teams I want to trade with. All the big tech names reporting this week. They'll be taken one at a time. Microsoft is trying to wake back up. Above 530. There's your all-time high of 555.45. Remember, they guided up big. Amazon, nice wake up back to the 50-day. Amazon's getting beaten up. Amazon's been beaten up because of Google and Oracle. And this fear that Amazon is losing clients or on AWS, I really just don't think they are. Yep, they had a bad week. They had an outage, which from people I'm hearing in the know, said it was self-inflicted. It was not an attack, that they made a massive mistake on DNS, and it took a long time to filter back down and fix it. Lesson learned the hard way from them. But I think they're going to be just fine. Speaking of them, Oracle also not doing much, holding. Google. So here's what you need to know about Google right now. I can tell you this without even whether they beat or miss doesn't matter. They're going to guide up after that tens of billion dollars of Anthropic revenue for their data center, which is huge. Remember, they're trying to grow their data center. They're trying to play catch up to Amazon and Microsoft and Oracle. That is a massive deal for them. We don't know what the margins are on it, of course, right? We don't know what they had to do to get that deal, but that's huge. I think they're going to guide up. The question is how much. We should talk Apple while we're here. Apple trading just off the all-time high as we go into their earnings again. Might not see great sales in iPhone, but I'm sure their services will be good. And last but not least, let's talk Meta. Meta had a blowout report last time. It popped up and it's come back and it's just been struggling to get going here. Overall, I think they're going to be just fine. But maybe this is one of those quarters where they're doing layoffs and they're trimming some of the fat on their, what do you call, on their AI, where they went out and maybe hired a little too heavy. All right. So again, my focus this week, I'll be trading NVIDIA on, into Tuesday. I will then be trading names going forward at that point on based upon merit. For you guys trial me a long-term, I've been a long-term holder in Ford. I bought Ford early on the open, some more of it added to my position there and brought my cost average down quite a bit. And we'll look to see if I can get out of this thing and move on to a different name. I'm just kind of tired of sitting in it. With that said, everybody have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy your Sunday. We'll see how the Giants decide to lose today. I'm sure we'll find a whole new way to lose. Have a good one. Oh, if you want to join me, I'll leave a link in the description below. Would love to have you in our trading room tomorrow.